In Ezra and Nehemiah, players are Israeli exiles who are returning to Jerusalem to rebuild the city. The game takes place over 3 rounds, each consisting of 6 turns and then the Sabbath. On their turn, a player will play a card to one of 3 slots on their player board. Each card will have banners in the top left, and these will dictate what action the player can do that round and the strength of said action. So if the card had 2 blue banners and 1 gray banner, they can do the blue action with a strength of 2 or the gray action with a strength of 1. But as you play more cards to your board, you will get to use the banners on other cards as well. So if I played this card here and I wanted to do the red action, I would use all of the red banners and have a strength of 7. As the game goes on, cards will get placed behind your player aid here and give you permanent banners as well. Note that you only have 3 slots for cards, but you will play 6 cards in a round, so you will have to cover these cards up. Each stack can have a maximum of 2 cards, so at the end of the round you will have 3 stacks of 2 cards, so plan accordingly. Now let's go over the 3 colors of actions. Each action has 2 things that you can do, and you're always allowed to do both if you can afford to. The gray action is how you clear rubble and rebuild the walls of the city. First, you will choose a wall space that you will work on this turn. You may clear the rubble if there's any from that space. Clearing rubble costs gray banners. Black cubes are cinders and cost 1 gray banner to remove. White cubes are stone and brown cubes are wood, and they each cost 2 banners to remove. And gold cubes are gold, and they cost 3 banners to remove. So if I had 4 banners, I could remove this wood and this stone. Rubble you remove goes to your player board. If you clear the last rubble off a space, you will gain the blessings shown in that space. Once all 3 of your blessings have reached a space, you will gain the bonus on top. The other gray action you can do is build a section of wall. This costs the resources shown in that space and the amount of banners. You will then draw 3 wall cards, choosing one to place in that space, and you'll gain the benefit shown on the card. And then you will place one of the 2 unused cards on top of your wall deck and the other one on the bottom of your wall deck. There are also multiple spots for gates, and you can build these gates and take ownership of them as well. If anyone builds next to the gate, they and the owner of the gate will gain the benefit at the top of the gate. The next color banner is red. These have to do with the temple and the altar. At the beginning of this action, you may pay the bread cost and place one of your workers in the temple as a Levite. How many Levites you have determines how many resources you can deliver to the temple and the altar. So if I had 3, I can deliver 3 resources. At the temple, you may deliver stone, wood, or gold. Where you place it in the temple will dictate how many banners you will need. Note that you do not have to work from bottom to top, and you will gain the bonus on the right of a row when you place a resource. Placing wood or stone will gain you 1 point, and placing gold gains you 2 points. You may also deliver resources to the altar to move up the altar track. You may pay cinders to move up the altar once and wood to move up the altar twice. Cinders cost 1 banner and wood costs 3 banners. As you move up the altar, you will gain the bonuses you cross. At the end of the round, you will gain bonuses or punishments depending on where you are in relation to the prophets. The farther right, the better. The last color banner is blue. The 2 actions for blue are teaching the Torah and tenting around the city. To tent around the city, you will use blue banners and move according to this table. Every bonus your tent moves past, you will gain. To teach the Torah, you will need to put out workers as scribes. You may place a scribe on any empty scroll as long as there is a claimed scroll beneath it, though you will need to pay the players whose pieces are below you. The bottom row gives you the Zerubbabel, Ezra, and Nehemiah cards, which give you a bonus and then become permanent banners. The middle 2 rows give you access to special powers like this one that says whenever you build a wall or gate, you get a discount of 1 stone. And the top row will give you endgame scoring. Each row will have a banner and a silver or gold cost to place a scribe there. So those are the main actions, but there's more you can do on your turn. You may always do one of 2 auxiliary actions. The first auxiliary action is trading with the card you just played. Each card you play has a possible trade at the bottom that you may carry out at any point on your turn. The second auxiliary action is turning over a development tile. These will cost the resources in the top left, and you will gain the bonus on the right and then flip the tile over. The flipped sides will be stronger and they'll be worth endgame points. At any point on your turn, you may also place out workers as traders and elders. These give you immediate bonuses like resources or even extra banners, though they will stay there until the end of the round. Okay, so those are the things that you can do on a turn. Once all players have taken 6 turns, the Sabbath happens. If any players have this Sabbath symbol, they will gain the benefits shown next to it. Then they will place all of their leftover workers as farmers to gain food or laborers to gain some resources. Then players will see the prophet's judgment, which is shown on this card. If you are behind the back prophet, you will usually gain a punishment shown on the left side of the card. If you are in between the prophets, you will gain the benefit in the middle, and if you are in front of the front prophet, you will gain the benefit on the right. You will then feed all of your workers 1 food per worker. Note that this does include your workers who are scribes and gatekeepers, but not your Levites, as they're fed by the temple. The last thing that you will do during the Sabbath is tuck one of the 6 cards you played this round behind your player aid. All of your player cards have Sabbath scoring at the top. You will then score all of your tuck cards. Note that tucking a card also gives you more permanent banners for subsequent rounds. Once the Sabbath is finished, you will reset for the next round to continue. At the end of the 3rd round, the game will end and you will move to endgame scoring. At the end of the game, you will convert resources to silver and then score 1 point for every 5 silver. You will gain 2 points for every flip development tile. You will score 3 points if you're the leader on the altar track. You will score points for every one of your walls and claimed gates. You will gain points for the rows that your scribes are in, and then finally score any scrolls you have claimed in the top row. And at the end of all that, the player with the most points will win.